Hello, Kalive here, and welcome back to Ark Survival Ascended, the island. So previously we did go and get a breeding pair of baryonyxes and thylas so that we can eventually hit up some caves. And now that day has come, and we do have a bred baryonyx and thyla that we can use, and that'll get us into some of the earlier caves. So we will also go into the swamp cave, which is a harder cave, with a megatherium that we've bred up, and that'll let us start leveling up the megatheriums and also grab the artifact in that one as well, which we will need. And I've also gotten a breeding pair of otters so that we can use the otter to hold onto one of the artifacts for us, and then we can hold on the other one, so let us get 2 artifacts per cave trip. And another update I don't think I've shown yet is a bridge that I made, or I guess a ramp, that goes from the top of the cliff to the bottom of the cliff. And these aren't too hard to make. I just started from the top, and then I extended out, and then once I got to a certain point where I couldn't build anymore, I just created a pillar that goes all the way to the bottom to anchor that central point. And I just made a series of pillars, and that let me continue on with building the ramps. So I do now have a quick way to get up and down, and it does help when I'm using creatures that can't fly. So for instance, if I'm using the Gigantoraptor and I need to get back up, that lets me get back up pretty quickly. And other than that, I believe not much else has changed, just the breeding up the creatures to use in the caves. So let me get ready, and then we can hit up one of those caves right away. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to show off the leveling of the megatheriums. So we start labeling the ones that we want to take into the boss fights, boss dinos, and this is just nicer to have whenever we are looking up in our cryopods, like our cryo fridges. We can just look up boss and then find the boss dinos. If you have a mixture of dinos, like breeding and boss dinos, all in one cryo fridge, this just makes it easier to find them, because they're all going to be labeled the same thing. So this is a male one. We need to have 10 females and 10 males with the same health and damage stats. So we have one here, so we're going to get started on this one. We need to cryopod this one up, and then we're going to head on over to the cave. A few things I'm going to bring with me. I'm going to have a couple of foundations and some ramps, just because there's going to be a spot in there we need to like smooth out. We can actually walk over it. I'm also going to bring a bed, so we'll have a spot to respawn over there. We're also going to need some gas masks. If you're at that point now, you can make gas masks. You definitely want to make them. The process is a little difficult. So to make a gas mask, you're going to need to make it in the fabricator, and you're also going to have a specific type of crafted item as well. So let's look up miscellaneous. You require absorbent substrate. That's a different thing that we've seen. Absorbent substrate, you can make a decent amount of it in the chemistry bench. I definitely recommend making it in the chemistry bench. It requires oil, sap, and it also requires black pearls. So you may or may not have gotten black pearls from drops. Another good source of black pearls is trilobites. You can find trilobites all over the coast, and they have a pretty good chance of dropping a black pearl, especially if you're on a dino that has a high amount of melee. So you're going to want to get the black pearls from them. You need 8 of them. And I'm not sure how much you get from this. I know it's a decent amount. Like, you're going to be able to make multiple masks from the amount of absorbent substrate. If you do have water dinos, you can go in the water and you can kill the squids, or even the little sea scorpions. Those are also pretty good at dropping black pearls. Lots of options in the ocean, but if you're not in the ocean yet, trilobites are your best bet, or finding them in drops. I think I found these in red drops. So red drops are pretty good for these. For the megatherium, I would recommend leveling up their health as much as possible in the beginning. So I already pre-leveled up their health. I got some levels because they've been sitting in the cryopods for a while. And I pumped their health up. I let them heal up. This is just beneficial so that whenever you do go into the cave and you're leveling them, you don't have to lose a bunch of health while leveling them. Because if you put a point in health, it's not going to instantly give you that health. You need to actually gain that health. So it saves you some time if you're doing that. Another thing you probably want to get, you most likely want to get some gateways so you can block off that beginning area. I always recommend that, and that's really it. Just make sure you have the gas masks. If you don't have gas masks and you don't have black pearls, you could take a full set of scuba. So like the mask, the scuba tank, the legs, and the flippers. You have to have the whole set. And I would take multiple sets of these. And if you have a full set, you could wear that in place of the gas mask. So that is possible to do that. And if you want to grab the artifacts, I would recommend getting your otter, because you're going to be going pretty deep in there, and you could grab the artifacts and just have some space for the artifacts on an otter and then some space on your character, so you can pick up a couple of them while you're in there. I usually wind up just grabbing 2 every once in a while. This is one of the caves that you're going to be in quite a bit if you're leveling up Megatheriums this way. So you're going to wind up having quite a few of the artifacts from this cave, probably more than every other cave. There's another cave that I typically go to for other things, but this was like the main one that I'm in most of the time. It's not an easy cave, but it is definitely not that difficult with the Megatherium. And where it's located is going to be in the Redwoods, so I'll show you where that is here in a second. Alright, here we are in the Redwoods. This is the lake in the Redwoods. Let's look at the map here. So right over here, around this lake with the island in the middle, and we're going to go towards the east side, and this is where the cave entrance is going to be at. So you can see down here that there is a path that goes up. So if you don't have a flyer, you can just go up this little path in this canyon, and that'll take you up to this next level, and then right here is where the cave is. So it's not too hard to find. So this is the swamp cave, even though it is in the Redwoods. And here is the coordinates. So you can write those down, and then you can mark this place if you want to. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to build a few things. And this is going to be something I would recommend doing, is putting a place down for any cave that you go into. Sometimes you can't build at the actual cave entrance, you have to build further away. But I'd recommend just building a little place to store your flyer at, and then like a place to spawn at if you die. So you're going to bring beds or some like hide sleeping bags. Those are also good. And once you're done with that, you can put like a little area, like box in an area to keep your flyer in there. And you can even bring some storage as well. So those are all things you can possibly do if you wanted to. But if you're pretty confident, you can just go into the cave and just run it, and then that should be it. I'm just a little more precautious when I'm doing this, especially on solo. I'm gonna put a bed down out here, and this will be in case I die inside. Typically, I bring multiple helmets or multiple masks, but I only have the 2 masks on me, so I can't really store an extra one anywhere. So because I don't have a box, I'm just going to store everything on my RG right now. But yeah, this is what I'm going to bring in there. So the 2 masks, and then I'm going to bring in some ramps and then some foundations. There's like one spot in there that you need to fix, so that's why I'm bringing those things in there. And then, of course, the dino that we're going to be using. Put on our mask before you go in. If you don't put that on, you start taking damage. And so let's go inside. This cave is gonna like kind of wrap around a little bit, and it's gonna open up here. And right where it opens up, like right here, is where you're gonna find some enemies. Like right in this little hole. You could kind of kite them out here, then throw your dino down and start hitting them. The reason why you bring a Megatherium in here is because they get this buff where if you kill a insect of some sort, you get a huge bonus to damage. So one problem you're going to run into while you're in here is your inventory is going to be completely full after like one fight. So you have to keep dumping your inventory, and that's a problem that you're going to run into. The only way you can get around that is if you disable harvesting. And I think once I get enough chitin from this place, I probably will do that. But we'll get to that point soon, so let's just continue on. So once we get this buff on us, we can run through here, and we can now use the right mouse button, like the secondary attack, and whenever we hit it, you see this massive amount of damage we just did. Do it again, we get a bunch of chitin. So this is how we start getting chitin, and we also get a bunch of berries and stuff. It's really the chitin that you want to keep. The berries just take up so much space though, so we're spending a lot of time just dropping stuff. And as you go along, you can level up your Megatherium, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like 15k health into these, and then the rest of it into melee. And what that'll do is that'll get us up to probably the beta, maybe the alpha. It probably would be a stretch. As you can see, we have a ton of chitin from killing all these bugs. So pretty quickly you will start getting way too much chitin, and you're going to want to turn off the harvesting. As you can see, we have this little black box here. That means we're full, our inventory's full. So we're probably maxing out here. This buff also gives us a massive amount of armor. As you can see right here, we have only getting hit by 4 damage on this thing. And we're dealing 1600 damage on this guy. So he does so much damage, and this cave is so easy with him. Let's drop this stuff. Also, your character's low level. This is definitely the best way to get to level 100. Especially if you're on a PvE server. If you're on a PvP server, you can still kill your baby dinos that you don't want, and that'll get you there. But this is the best way to get to level 100, because you're going to be spending a lot of time in here, and the levels come so fast. So if you are done with chitin, you don't need more chitin, you can always turn off harvesting settings and just say, I don't want to harvest resources anymore. You can still harvest the bodies, so victim item collection, you can still do that if you want. Resources will turn off stuff like this, stuff like chitin, things like that. You won't be picking up the bodies anymore. So let's drop this. And yeah, so we're going to be kind of done with that. Oh, there's a... Oh, we need to kill that guy for sure. Kill these little guys here. They drop a item that we're gonna need. So look at our inventory. You definitely want to grab these Megalania toxins. These are so important. These are like one of the hardest things to get, and you need them for boss fights. So whenever you see Megalanias, definitely kill them and grab these toxins. Once you clear the area out, we can now jump off and grab this. Oh, look at that. So we got a blueprints for a long neck rifle. Nice, I was looking for that. So it came from a blue drop, which is nice. Also got a Beazle Bufo saddle. That's okay. Grab this stuff off of here. I don't need anything else off this. You also want to start grabbing the Katana Bow of Venom. This is a little bit easier to get. This is the most important one though. You also want to keep an eye on your gas mask health. It goes down as you stay in here because you're constantly using it. So you need to keep an eye on that as well. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for this side. So this is the next section, is right here where this little red glowing spot is. You're gonna wanna do one thing here. Hop off and then drop this in a good spot. So this part's really hard to get through. You wanna put this down here and on this side too. So now we have a way to get over this hump. We have a leech on. Yeah, you get a leech on sometimes. Check for leeches. So hopefully we can get through this spot. Yeah, we can get through this spot now. Nice. So once you have this done, keep going in here, and this is the bigger area. Lots of leeches here. Alright, so that's one area. So in this room, this is where we came from, is that hole right there. We can go straight up to the left. And you see there's like actually a drop up there. It's a yellow drop. It's gonna be really worth grabbing. So straight across the river. Up this way. Just kill everything that you see. And then straight through here, you're gonna run into another open area with some water. This is where the good drops are. There's a red drop right there. This is where you're gonna find a lot of stuff. There's a lot of enemies above us, and a lot of leeches in the water. Make sure nothing's around me. Hop off. Get rid of the leech. Let's check this red drop. So, blueprint for a pike. Nice. And riot gear. Probably never gonna use that. A blueprint for a pike. That's not bad, I guess. It does seem like you get more blueprints in the cave drops than you do in the open world. These things do spawn sometimes pretty quickly. Right here is where we're going to run into the artifact. Nothing spawns past this little exit point right here. So take a second to look around, make sure things don't attack us. Once we know we're not getting attacked, then we can go up to this spot here. And this is where the artifact is. Very dense. Nothing should spawn in here. I'm not gonna say 100% it's not gonna spawn in there, but nothing should spawn in here. So here's our first artifact. Artifact of the immune. Take off your otter. You brought one and put it in your otter. Now you have an artifact in your otter. Otters are the only tames that can actually carry them. So now that we have our artifacts, we come back down. We'll have to come back a little bit later to get the next artifacts. I'm not sure what the respawn timers are. They used to spawn pretty quickly, but I think they fixed that, so they don't really respawn that much. Let's go ahead and finish out with melee. This guy's gonna be level, yeah, 275 is not bad. It's actually a pretty good level. And the amount of melee we have in this thing is gonna be quite a bit. So this red drop spawned again. All right. Oop, make sure you don't dismount underneath something. All right, let's check this thing out. Platform saddle, Ronto, and we also got a Megalania saddle. Okay, some stuff here. Consumables. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the cave. There's that yellow drop that we can get. So let's go get the yellow drop. I'll show you what that is. So we head back up this way. And there's going to be two ways here. This goes to the top of the... it's like a lower path, which is this way. This is where we came in from. This goes back to the open area. And this is like an upper path. It kind of goes up and around. It's a little bit tighter. So getting through this area is going to be really hard. I'm going to have to go around and get through it. If you have a smaller mount, you can get through that area pretty easily. This is the open area. And up there is the yellow drop. Oh, leeches. That's what we want to get, is a yellow drop right there. Oh, this is getting covered in leeches. Watch out for the leeches. I think leeches respawn faster than everything else does. But this is the way we have to go, is down here. Yeah, I don't know if we can get through there. Alright, I'm going to have to just jump off. Move the leeches. Then run around. If you hear anything attack you, just run back to your mount. Up here is the yellow drop. Let's grab this. Shotgun. What is this? Iguanodon. Alright. This is the way that we couldn't get through. Look right there. That's what we saw earlier. We couldn't get through that spot. Back down to our mount, and that's pretty much it. That's the full cave. We got all three of the drops. Oh, they got. I'm gonna get rid of the leech. Still 3 leeches on this thing? Alright, we'll get rid of the leeches a little bit later. Let's go back up here. This is the way back out. Alright, just walk our way out of this place. Alright, this is the open area here. So I would just double check your creature, grab everything you want off of it, and then dump everything else. Let's level this guy up for the last time. 800 melee damage is quite a bit, and 15k health is definitely big. So that's going to be one completed dino. him up, and then we head out. That's pretty much it. So we used one gas mask, which is nice. We didn't have to use another one. Repairing these things is kind of a pain, so the quicker you do this, the better. And let's head back up to the top here. Yeah, just hang to the left, and it's like a little ramp. Oh, there goes the mask. Nice. So that's it. So what we wound up getting is a bunch of chitin, although I kind of turned that off pretty quickly. And we also got some fiber. We're gonna need some fiber later on. And we also got some good drops. So some stuff we'll use, some stuff we won't use. Like I might wind up getting rid of this. We'll just grind this down and grind this down probably as well. But we did get a blueprint. So we got a blueprint for a long neck rifle, which is great. It's pretty expensive, but it's definitely worth having. These are so good for taming. But that's gonna be it. I'm gonna head out back to the base. Alright, we're back, and yeah, so I have been doing a little bit of leveling on some different creatures, and I did level up this Rex here, but I can't do too much with the Rexes until I actually get to the other ice cave, so like the big ice cave. So these are the two ones that I've been working on. This one is new, and I still haven't leveled it up yet, but I've got the health up to 15k, so we should be able to level that one up next in the cave. And then this one, it's maxed out on health, so I'm just gonna give it some more melee. And for the Rex, yeah, I'm gonna try to go for 20k health from the Rexes. Now that shouldn't be too difficult to get to. This one has 46 health points and 38 melee, so the melee's not the greatest, but the health's pretty good. This will get us to the Alpha Megapithecus, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And I also did get some new items while I was in the caves doing the leveling. So let's go look at these real quick. And I think I already showed you these, but I also got this blueprint for the Rex saddle. I think we already saw that one though. But that is quite a bit of materials required for this one. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make this particular one. I might have to go for like a Mastercraft or something around the Mastercraft level where it's not that much of a resource hog. Although you can go into like Scorched Earth and farm up this stuff pretty quickly. We'll see if we can make these things and get the resources for these. And we also got a blueprint for a long neck rifle, 140%. So we can respec and get that higher than 140%, which is nice. But I also did get this other long neck rifle, so I'm not really going to be worried about actually crafting the other one. So this one's pretty good. It's 276%, and that's actually probably as good as we're going to get right now. So we can take this out and we can go and tame up some stuff later on. So there are quite a bit of benefits for going into the swamp cave on the island. Besides getting your Megatheriums leveled up, you do get quite a few good recipes from in there, and you're also leveling up your character. So if you're, hitting that 80s and 90s, your character is going to get to 100 pretty quickly and probably go beyond that, which is not important right now, but that will be important later on, especially whenever Extinction comes out. You're going to need to get a character, over level 100 in order to craft some of those new things. So you're going to be spending a lot of time here if you haven't already, and there's so many benefits to just going to this one cave. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. So we did do quite a bit. We did get the cave done, so we have a method of leveling up our Megatheriums now. This is kind of just preparation for when we go and fight the Broodmother. We're going to need to go with the artifacts for the Broodmother, which we can do pretty soon. So once we get these artifacts, we can then go fight the Broodmother. We'll have the Megatheriums ready by then. We do need to go get some more resources for the saddles for the Megatheriums. And I still need to find a blueprint for a Megatherium, so I have to go back to some of the caves pretty frequently. I think the purple drops are the ones we want to look for, but we'll definitely go ahead and grab those when we do find them. But yeah, that's going to be it. I thank you for watching. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.